Hello and welcome back to Rig Gaming as we start episode number 3, I think, of this White Sox franchise. Going right into it off camera, there were two moves that needed to be made to grow our future and also kind of start something now in the major leagues as well. As you see, we acquired Alec Thomas and starter Humberto Castellanos from the Diamondbacks, and we traded away Jimmy Lambert, Nate Mondo, and Lloydell Chipelli Jr. They needed another decent starting pitcher. Jimmy Lambert will go in there, go be their 3 or 4 guy, and be able to maybe make an impact for them. And then we also made a deal with the Dodgers, in which we got a nice little outfield prospect back for Yasmani Grandal. Give them a good backup catcher that can switch hit, do whatever they need. So that's very exciting. We'll go into a player lock game with DePaula today, and I'm looking forward to getting things going. Looking into our scouting, we see Ramon Ornelas is locked in to have decent potential, but not superstar potential. So we'll look here to scout another player. There's a lot to like in this draft class. I feel like we have a switch hitting lefty thrower right here with good contact, so I like his potential there. Then we got Francisco Diaz, so he's actually I'm gonna wait on Henry Gomez as we're already scouting a first baseman right now. And we'll take a look in the outfield here. I do like what Fernando Davila can potentially bring. And I'm going to now scout a little bit in the East again, bring up those starting pitcher interests and everything else. And as we look, we are 16 and 18, Guardians 15 and 18. Over the last 10, we're 5 and 5. Tigers are 8 and 2, so they've been doing well. Royals will be doing this the whole year. They have a better record than the White Sox. The Rangers are off to a good start as well. And we are 3 games back of the wild card right now. Braves lead the East, Brewers the Central, Padres over in the West, with a lot of winning going on over in that NL West. Now we'll take a look again at the top prospects list. We'll start at the top because that's where any one of our guys will be. Andrew Abbott's still there for the Reds. He'll come off of that pretty soon. Kyle Manzardo getting at bats a lot in the MLB this year. He should probably get sent down soon, so we'll see if that ends up getting done. But Colson Montgomery, our only top 50 guy, batting 230 so far, 374 on base percentage though, so we like to see that. Walks and strikeouts are even, so that's good. Paul Skeens doing well in his AAA time so far. So, as we'll get into another game down at the AA level. This time we're going to be using Jose DePaula. As we see these stats, 66 speed, 56 stealing overall. So he's not somebody that's going to swipe a lot of bases. He's not somebody that is outstanding speed, but he can move a little bit. So I'm looking forward to seeing his potential grow. And we'll see what we end up having ultimately with Jose DePaula, with trading away Yasmani Grandal's expiring contract anyway. There was not a lot of value next year with keeping Yasmani Grandal back, re-signing him. So I felt like sending him to the Dodgers was the best place to flourish. Seems like anybody who goes there ends up doing that. So they have a bunch of former White Sox right now between Joe Kelly, Lance Lynn, and now Yasmani Grandal. And we are here, the Birmingham whoever, against the Chattanooga Lookouts. I should probably know the name of our AA affiliate if we're going to be jumping in here for a bunch of games. But here is DePaula's debut at bat with us. Lefty hitter, righty thrower. Nice little stance, a little bit open. And he looks for one to drive, get on base, and possibly create a run. 1-0 outside. And he is going to be getting on base, and that's a perfect in our first at bat with him. That might be a good sign for things to come as we go with Jose DePaula. And as we go, I might change people's, gear and stuff, make them look a little bit more major league. Maybe add an arm sleeve or two, add some color. I like what Ronald Acuna does, even as a Mets fan, adding flair to his game, whether it's the yellow cleats or anything else. That's something I do like, just adding a bit of spice to things. As we watch Wilfred Vera swing through a fastball. And Brett trying to work out of this. And Wilfred swings on over that, and that will strike him out. We got 2 outs, a 1-2 count now. And we are going to send the runner here. Not a great jump, but he gets rung up regardless. But I like what we're seeing so far. Now we get him in the field. He's a lefty thrower. He's a nice lanky outfielder. Thing is, with outfielders, they have the ability to switch between the 3 positions quite easily. So if Alec Thomas, who we just traded for, ends up developing into an everyday player for us, then maybe DePaula can move over to a corner outfield in a few years whenever he is able to get to the MLB level. So, lot to like. In the left center, DePaula moves on over, makes the play. But he has double arm sleeves, glasses on his face. So, DePaula has a good sense of style in his game. Hits it. We're gonna. Oh! I was trying to dive, but we did not need to, as he ranges in and makes the play.
And now the center fielder, number 81.
And now DePaula coming in for his second plate appearance after hitting one up the middle at 107 last at bat. And he hits another one hard, right to second base though. And that'll retire the end of the 4th inning.
Here's the center fielder, number 81.
And now, here we go again, DePaula, first and second now. An opportunity to drive in around here. Swing right under that, a little bit late. That won't do it. As you see, acquired from the Dodgers in 2023. We'll be seeing that as he goes through our system. I'm going to look up a little bit of tidbits about him as well, just so we can learn more about some of the guys that are flowing through our system. But half swing on the slider, 0-2 count.
Ball, it stays 0-2.
We foul that off. So Jose DePaula, he's 18 years old and has batted .312 over his minor league career, so he's been a consistent bat. As we swing over a good pitch, backdoor slider out of the AA arm. With the lead, signed in 2022 on January 15th. Must have been as an international free agent because he was signed at 17. But I like what we have in DePaula, the potential to play anywhere in the outfield as we take an inside strike. It's a good take, I think. I don't really believe we're going to do much with that pitch. And we half swing, get the call of the ball, and it's a 1-1 count. So we're just trying to make an impact, try to drive in the tying runs. We poke it out a little bit too high, and the play will be made. That's very disappointing, especially after the first two at-bats. After the first at-bat with them, when we lined one right up the middle. I was hoping to get another hit. But we have an opportunity to make a defensive play here. And that is ripped in the gap. It's gonna score 2. And it's a 4-0 ball game for Chattanooga. It's a nice double in the gap. Colson Montgomery gets a hit and a walk, and same with Jacob Gonzalez. So it's good to see those two getting hits as we start to build up our minor league system a little bit. Between DePaula, Colson, and Jacob Gonzalez, we have 3 minor league guys that I like a lot. So we'll skip another week, possibly jump into critical scenario. Kopech shoulder soreness, he'll be okay. And let's see. We have the opportunity to walk it off. Let's jump on in. Even though we don't necessarily want to win, it'll still be a good game. Jake Berger, 1 for 3 on the day. We'll look to get on base and get a rally going.
Good evening to those joining us for this live look in on the show. I'm John Shelby alongside Chris Singleton. You're just in time.
Hector Neris on the mound. He has a dirty splitter. I think I'm just gonna hit with Jake Berger here and then simulate until the end of the game. Oh, damn. Swung right over that. As you can see with that PCI, it is almost right there. As we foul that one off, 0-2 still. Hector Neris has thrown 3 of his 4 pitches so far.
Right-handed reliever. Got him swinging.
And we swing over the fastball. That will be a strikeout. We will see. And we will end up winning on 3 walks. Don't know how that happened, but we will take it. As Hector Neris gets the loss, but he only has 1 walk. So we'll take it. As we sim and we win again. Winning a little bit too much for my liking, so it might be time to deal Luis Rober. So let's take a look at our pitching. So we have a lot of, so we have some B potential guys, but they're all older besides Noah Schultz. So I might try to get a high level pitching arm in this Robert trade. But let's look around, maybe see if between the teams that are doing well, possibly want to make a big buy. The Blue Jays, potentially the Orioles, come back to those. The Angels don't really have anything. Let's see. Padres, but they don't really have much. The Giants. I could look to trade for Bryce Eldridge. There's a lot to like out of maybe developing a 2-way. And that's something I always wanted to do. So we'll put Bryce Eldridge as these two as the centerpieces right now. Kyle Harrison would probably not get moved. He is their top prospect. And he never really does well in these simulations, I feel like. So let's look through, possibly see if they have any position players that we like. We have Grant McCray. High speed, but he's a center fielder. We have a good amount of outfield prospects. And now we have Walker Martin and Everson Ortega. Definite possibilities as we start going through. But they have a lot of catcher depth. I don't really think they would get rid of any of them. Blake Sable might be somebody we're interested with. Looks like they have 3 different catchers on the roster. Nope, Roberto Perez is in AAA right now. So we might be able to bring him in. Or we can go a different direction. See if they have any bullpen relievers. Reggie Crawford, another 2-way guy. Not interested in multiple. But I think it will be a trade. Walker Martin and Bryce Eldridge and Luis, and then also Luis Gonzalez in the trade for Luis Robert under 5 years plus of team control. He has been struggling this year, so I'm gonna get off of him early. Maybe not for as many Major League ready prospects as we would have liked. But this is the first offer we're gonna construct and look at. And let's just take a look around real quick as to one possible thing we could do. The Rays are good. And we have already made a trade though with the Rays. What did we do with them? Well, right, we gave them Eloy. And Eloy has been struggling for them so far. But he has lots of time to go up and down. But it looks like all of these really good prospects are not going to be able to be brought in right now. But we can look another direction, maybe the Blue Jays. Does not look like they have a lot right now. Addison Barger does look like a quality option, a possible generated prospect, 23 years old. So a little older, but he could be a good starting point, and then we possibly build around this. I know the Blue Jays have a couple pitching prospects I really like. Let's see, we do have Ricky Tideman. And I feel like in this trade, they're trying to go all in. They could give up Tideman. And then see if there's any major league ready guy that hasn't really been playing for them. We need some depth. Our depth is not very good right now. And Jordan Luplow, power bat, we don't really need that. We'd rather have somebody who puts the ball in play a little more. But it looks like this might be the trade. I might include, I'm just looking for a lefty hitter or a switch hitter with see potential. Not somebody who could be one of their top prospects, just somebody who could He's a little bit too low of an overall. Oh, that's a botch. Addison Barger, Ricky Tideman, and Stuart Baroa. And that is a deal, as Luis Robert is on the move to the Blue Jays to take over their DH spot, their center field spot. I guess we shall see. But that's a good move for the Blue Jays, as it opens up a roster spot for us, potentially. Let's see, Tukey. Actually, we're gonna keep our MLB roster like this. Nope. Addison Barger will in fact go down, and Eric Gonzalez will come up. See if he can hold his own, but Barger will have another option used, unfortunately. But it is alright, and in we will go in a sec. Let's check our scouting. Basically the most important thing for us right now, Fernando. It looks like his bat is okay, but nothing else is, so he will be off of our board completely. Diaz is not really going to be that good. His bat is decent though, a good bat to ball skills. As we keep looking through, I will go with that other first baseman, Henry Gomez, as a potential later second round, third round pick potentially for us. So now we look around, look through second baseman, other infielders, and see if there's anyone that can stick out. Maybe just find a spot here. Not a lot of these guys end up paying off, the guys that just say they're going to be high potential and everything. They rarely ever are. But J.R. Sable keeps climbing up the board, so he will get scouted here. Let's take a look at the starting pitchers as we go through. We have a South Korea 35, a Connecticut at 35. So I'm going to do New York, I'm going to do the East Coast for 2 more scouting trips, it looks like. I am not bothering to do the West, just so I could get all the information as possible onto one. As I scroll through here and just see what we got. Wish it was possible to look at biggest risers and fallers potentially, but that's not a thing. I also just realized I haven't done this. That would have been very useful, as this increases player interest. But let me go with shortstop as well, and then center fielder there. But let's see, first baseman did not apply. Alright, keep that back to center fielder. And see what we have here as we sim, and we're gonna have to release a couple players. Fortunately, it looks like Terrell Tatum is gonna get the short end of the stick and get released. Sorry, Terrell. It is what it is. As we go in and make our everyday lineup now. It's gonna mean Benintendi is gonna be getting a lot more at bats. We're gonna move Gavin Sheets back in the order into the 4 spot. So there's a lot of things to do, a lot of things to look at. But Benintendi is definitely going to be happy getting full-time reps now at the everyday position. As let's see, Trace Thompson will be center fielder against lefties, but he's not great at hitting them. But it's okay. It's not like we're trying to hit the ball anyway. As we have a lineup of no 80s officially. But it's okay. We wanted this to happen. We want this to be a long rebuild with players that we develop, we trade for, and we see the progression. And the league leaders, a month or so in, we got Steven Kwan batting 400 almost. Xander Bogaerts at 385. Xander with a 1.5 higher WAR than anyone else batting wise in the NL. And that makes it across the league batter wise. Good for him, he is going crazy. He is leading in home runs and RBIs, and the Angels have both. Trout hurt again. His 89 durability has to be a lie, because he's just always hurt in real life, so it's crazy. 12 stolen bases. Esteury Ruiz has not played in a few weeks and is still tied for first. Starling Marte swiping bags at a good rate for a 34-year-old. But let's get into the next week of scouting and everything. As we should be losing more games as we go through now. Should see the record plummet. And we'll see what that brings with it. As J.R. Sable shows that basically just a fielder. Let's see. Good at anything, but he can be good in the long run. As Henry Gomez, it's the chance to have a nice bat in the league. Okay fielding. Let's check on the pitchers. Let's see, 50%. So it looks like a bunch of the East Coast guys are scouted a good amount. So I'm gonna finish off the Dominican Republic crew and international pitchers. So that's good. As it is battle for the losses now. We look to lose this series with Kansas City. And we're gonna win the series against Kansas City. Jose De Paula is injured as we trade for him. And now I jump in for Dylan Cease to try to keep his shutout going against the 22-26 Cleveland Guardians. And I'll pitch the rest of this game potentially. Hopefully Cease can close this one out. 96 down the gut. And he gets a quick 0-2 count off of 2 straight fastballs. And Miles Straw watches that. Nobody advances. 1-2 count here. We're gonna look to get him on the inside fastball. And that was strike 3. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Tells me to calm down when I threw strike 3. That is popped up, foul ball. Very, very close. That is blasted into the gap, and that'll drop. 2 runners will score. And it's a tie game, just like that. Miles Straw put one into the gap, made it to second. And we're going to be going to the bullpen. Looks like we will be going with Garrett Crochet. So far this season, he's 17 games, a 1.42 ERA. Done anything we could want for him. See down low, Twins promote Walker Jenkins to AAA, so we could see some of these prospects getting early time in the MLB, which I am a big fan of. I'm sad we didn't trade for Bryce Eldridge, but overall I felt like that Toronto package was going to be better. Tiedemann's more guaranteed. And I don't really know how progressing of a two-way guy will be as he goes through the minors, but I'm definitely still interested. I will keep them in mind when it comes to trading Dylan Cease. I'll keep a lot of teams in mind with that because we're going to be definitely trying to maximize our return with an all-star level pitcher. So 1-0 inside from Karen Check as Gavin Sheets takes another one inside. Sheets will have a little bit more on his plate now with Luis Robert gone. He'll have to hit for a little bit more contact, a little bit more power to make up for the lack of. So far, with that 245 average, 5 home runs, 17 RBIs, he has not really done that. But cutting down the Ks, upping the walks, would be a good sign for progression for Mr. Gavin Sheets. 3-0 though, way up, and that is the game-leading run. See, I do have someone who can play first. I got 70 speed on the bench. So I think I'm gonna run for Gavin Sheets. As Luke Raley steps to the plate here. Watches that one. Karen Check's first strike of the inning comes. Iglesias not the greatest steal threats. And I should have probably got him on the move.
Well, that at bat had a lot riding on it. Definitely one of the bigger ones in this game. So that double play is going to be one we look back on when this thing is over. Big time execution both on the mound and in the field to get two right there.
Seby Zavala steps to the plate for the White Sox. First pitch doesn't find the zone.
But we're gonna see. Seby Zavala now steps in and puts one out, and that is caught. And we are gonna bring in Carlos Perez, and we're gonna sim it the rest of this game. We'll see what the end result is. And we put up a 6 spot in the top of the 10th, and are able to pull out the victory. So that's great to see, and we are looking forward to Jake Berger, 3 for 5 day. Great for him. As we sim to the end of the week and get into scouting before we get into June and the end of this episode. As this one was mostly just focused on scouting, talking about a little bit for what the plan would be, and then also making those trades and setting ourselves up for what's to come. As Jorge Guerrero continues to be intriguing to me, has not moved up on the boards yet. And I'm gonna look at Alex Cato potentially having a nice bat, switch hitter. He hasn't gone up on our board though. I like to scout guys that move up on the board without me scouting them originally. It really helps identify guys that'll be successful. In that case, I'll just look at them. Why not? It doesn't hurt. But that is going to be episode number 3, I think. A shorter episode, just going over trades that were made before the episode, and then a couple trades that were made during the episode to set up our future, set up some potential breakouts with getting guys MLB at-bats and good time, like Alec Thomas. Hopefully he can develop into a true everyday ball player, especially with that speed that he has. But until next episode, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Check out these episodes unfold live at Rig Streams on twitch.tv. And as always, we gone!